Let's look at Mara's early efforts at throwing a ball when standing. Games with balls of various sizes delight toddlers and encourage development of throwing, catching, and kicking skills. Overhand throwing is still a preference, and small balls are thrown before large balls. Gabrielle initiates a brief three-way ball game. Distance and accuracy of aim and longer bouts of back and forth play will increase with age and practice. James can now aim and throw the ball in the direction he intends. Kicking occurs when the toddler walks or runs into a ball and it rolls. James uses his arms to counterbalance the action. He targets the ball and with a little body twist kicks it. Soon he will master swinging his leg back in a real kicking action. Because the toddler's balance reactions aren't fully developed, Mara doesn't shift her weight and swing her leg back yet.
Soccer practice.
Begins there.
So, any comments or observations or questions or?
This is more in jest than anything, but the first child looked like a basketball player. The second child looked like a baseball player chasing after the ball in the outfield. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many sports things going on here.
Yeah.
Where do you think those games came from?
Yeah.
Sure, and it's interesting that you bring that up because when you have a game like baseball, it's a very formalized thing. It's years and years of development, and they still keep changing the rules and that. But it's a very formalized setting. It has its boundaries, it has its rules and everything else. But they didn't start that way. They started out of just play, and a lot of the things that you brought up. Okay, it was interesting, because I think Beverly will comment when we see the narration. That these are developmental stages of learning to come in control of our body. And how do we see it? You had some, we can discuss more after we see the narration part of it, but what goes into kicking and things like that. So the kicking and the throwing, particularly in this segment, are the major activities.
And it's quite interesting seeing Mara and Gabrielle try to organize that little game with the mother, and the tentative kind of handling of the ball, not really sure, do I throw it? Which way, So it's lovely because it's all so new. And you're seeing the beginnings of those sport games.
Yeah, and the social interaction part of it, of giving and taking and trading and that.
And yeah, and that's such a big part because, as I was saying, there's that ownership that's developing at the same time. This is mine, this is yours, or not usually that way. It's usually this is mine,
Mine.
this is mine.
This is
And-
mine and this is mine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so here now it's the exchange that's going on.
I've
Yeah.
had a number of interactions in the reception room in the office where, the child you'll give them a ball. And so that's in one hand, and then they want another ball. And they've got two. And then you come up with a third ball and it's like, what do I do? Do I drop one and get, or do I clutch them all together or whatever?
Well, that's funny you should mention that, because in my first video with the girl, with Gabrielle, I think she's about 11 months, she's on the floor and they have been playing a ball game, rolling a ball. And she now has two balls in each hand, and another ball comes by and she lets one drop and she gets that one. I mean, she would just keep getting the balls. And then the parents are like, no, you can't have all the balls. You have to share the ball. And she couldn't care less. She just wanted to keep, practicing catching the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's your sports, the beginning of sports.